hidden valley shrouded in snow, mist, and an intense cold. The Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur, also known informally as the Dino Valley, is an eternally snow-covered crater north of Valedale. It is the coldest area known in Jorvik, and only the toughest of horses can brave the cold, frigid temperatures and snowy climate. The valley is home to the camp of AAE, otherwise known as a Stoneground Expedition. The Stoneground Expedition is run by Nick Stoneground. He is a determined adventurer and researcher who is currently doing research in the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur. He has written many books about his trips, and the books are available at the Silverglade Manor's library, but this specific expedition focuses on finding old dinosaur bones and other valuables with Frank Einstein. In prologues made by Nick Stoneground, he tells the player about the history of the valley. We know that an asteroid hit the bottom of the ocean approximately 22,000 years ago. It was then that the poor dinosaur creature that we see the remains of on the ice was killed. The asteroid struck with such tremendous force that landmass rose up out of the Earth's crust. The parts forced up above sea level is the island we today call Jorvik. And that life didn't come to the island. It's said that land masses only consisted of lifeless rocks, and that life didn't come to the island until much later. Everyone mixes in legends and myths about the origin of life on Jorvik, but this is where I can share AAE's view that life came naturally and gradually to the island, even though I'm a big supporter of the keepers of Aideen. We've never been able to drill down to the asteroid and have no real answer as to what it may have consisted of. We also don't know if it was smashed in the impact or whether it's lying there in one piece. All the calstone found around the crater could almost certainly be materials left behind the asteroid, but we don't know for sure. The player also learns that the crater in the valley was completely filled with water, which created an enormous lake of ice in the cold. The water level decreased, which created an enormous ice cave under the ice. After a winter storm in 1912, the ice collapsed, which contributed to the researchers in the area leaving the valley. Nick Stoneground refers to this event as the Great Collapse. The Great Collapse, the winter of 1912, was a tough one. The expedition in the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur were in full swing, but that winter was so harsh that they had to suspend adventures due to snowstorms and heavy snowfall. The snow was thick and heavy and covered the crater's already delicate roof of ice. The reinforced ice beam started to moan under the weight of mass of snow that had fallen on the roof. It became increasingly obvious that the roof wasn't going to be able to support the weight of all that snow for much longer, and the expeditions made the decision to evacuate the Great Hall of Ice. Sadly, not every adventurer understood how serious the problem was, and some didn't even get the message that they had to evacuate. They sounded the alarms, but they hadn't been used for a long time and didn't make a single sound because they'd filled up with ice. In the end, the roof gave way with an almighty crash that was heard all the way to the Jorvik stables and disappeared into the crater. The explorers left inside the crater never made it out. That relentless winter continued, and snow covered the valley again, making the path that led there totally unusable. No explorers dared to go there after the news broke of the Great Collapse, and the valley was no longer an attractive target for exploration. In part, it was because it was much harder to get there, but in reality, it was because people were too afraid of all the unstable ice after the collapse. The valley was then all but forgotten and has lay here untouched until now. Another important part of the valley are the Kallters. They are mystical people who live beyond the Icengate located in the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur. They seem to be proficient in many languages, Klingon and Norwegian among others. Very little is known about them, but they seem to have a unique bond with Jorvik's horses, especially a breed that resembles the modern Fjord. There's a book that can be found in Fripp's chamber called What Are the Kallters, and the book is about their history. In the book, we can find this information. Little is known about the reclusive people who live beyond the Icengate in the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur. Their arrival on Jorvik predates any recorded history, causing some to speculate that they are the true first people of the island. The keepers of Aideen respect the privacy of the Kallters and have, in fact, helped to keep the Kallters' existence a secret from the large population. How ironic that we know less about these fellow Jorvikians than we do the beings of Pandoria. Here is what we know to be true about the Kallter. They have shown an interest in trade with the outside world, but no curiosity about our affairs. Their society is pre-industrial, or rather, they show no evidence of using technology from the outside world. Living so close to the enigma that is Garnuk's fury, they're exposed to magical energies beyond anything we in the rest of Jorvik can fathom. There are legends of Kallters having horses whose footsteps turn water to ice and serving a queen with a heart of ice, but these are just rumors and should be treated as such. Until such time as the Kallter open their gate to us, we must respect their desire for secrecy, Aideen willing that they will come soon. As you can see, the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur is tightly intertwined with the main story of Jorvik, and because of that, many players, especially older ones, have high expectations of it. But anyway, let's get onto why I think this will be the next area to get an upgrade after Hollow Woods. Dino Valley, aside from Hollow Woods, is the last standing area from the old Star Stable, a time a few years ago when the graphics looked a bit different and more crusty. It is a very nostalgic area filled with memories, amazing stories, and a lot of missed potential. The area was released way back at the end of 2014 and was the second area to be added to the game, and it seems like something is changing in there. After this week's update, parts of the area have become completely black, which is something that happens when SSO works on something in that place, as the same started happening in Hollow Woods just before the announcement that it would be getting an update later this year. Another thing regarding the Dino Valley that has been going on for the past few months is that Star Stable removed part of the mountains a while ago and thus allowed players to meander the locked area right next to it. This was quite a while ago, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to find all of the pictures of what I'm talking about and all of the videos, but when SSO first removed the obstacle that separated the locked and unlocked area, many people were posting pictures and videos of how the locked, unreleased area looked like. It was pretty empty with a few trees, mountains, and random textures, though in one of the pictures it does seem that a sentinel tree is also located in there. If you've ever wandered into a closed area, you'd know what I mean, as they all look pretty much the same. But a few weeks ago, before SSO was able to close the path, things started to change. It wasn't much, but it looked a bit different. Star Stable already has many resources that they would need to update this place. From the Winter Festival and the Winter Village, they already have snow with the updated graphics, new rocks, ice, trees covered in snow, ice pillars, caves, and much more. So even though the valley is pretty big, this would and will definitely help speed up the process. Since SSO is in the process of upgrading the game's graphics to an even level, updating Dino Valley after Hollow Woods is the only logical thing, as it would be the last remaining area with old graphics. And it has so much potential, as it's the only snow-covered area in Jorvik, making it ever so special. So having a home stable, championship, more races, NPCs, and wildlife would make it feel much more alive and popular with the players. There are two special places in the valley that lead to more locked areas. The first one is the Icengate. Its location description is another route out of the valley. We really don't know much about it. Icengate is a large locked door located by the Kallters camp in the western parts of the valley. So it has deep connection with the Kallters, and I'm sure it's gonna have a lot of main story relevance. The other mysterious area hidden in the valley is Ashland. Ashland is an area located north of the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur. Currently, the area is unreleased, though it has been around for a while. It has not received any updates. It is uncertain when the area will be released. You can see the passage into the area up a path in the valley blocked off by large piles of snow. Inside the area consists of a small path that leads to a single house. Scattering the area are geysers and bushes, which when gone near will display a message saying this area isn't safe enough to be accessible, head back to the road. In a dialogue with Nick Stoneground, he talks to the player about the Ashland. Beyond the Ashen Steep is an area known as the Ashland. The area got its name because it always rains ash there and sulfur smoke always seeps out of the ground. The northern part of Ashland is dominated by a huge volcano called Garnock's Fury, and it's been active since time immemorial. The Ashen Steep is called so because the rain of ash and sulfur from the Ashland above falls down onto the unusually white snow. It's said that the volcano represents the exact point at which the asteroid that created Jorvik struck. It doesn't quite match with the geologists' theories after they mapped the mountains, but you can never be totally certain. The asteroid may have been in parts when it may have hit the Earth at a strange angle, or maybe the crater is much larger than we think. The Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur is only a small part of a much larger crater formation. Future explorations will hopefully clarify it for us. Ashland has been a part of SSO for years, being added along with the Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur, but there is still not that much information about it. No quests around its mystery and why it's closed. There's no spoilers, no sneak peeks, no nothing. The only time it gets mentioned is in a mysterious fortune told by Yidris, as well as during many of Star Stable's festivals where you can talk with NPCs and sometimes even during the event quests. But all of the dialogue has been the same for years, reused many times and hasn't changed, so at least for now I don't have much hope for Ashland. Though if the valley gets an update, something is surely going to change in Ashland as well, and I'm just excited for the day when the blockage is removed and we are able to ride freely into it and discover more of its story. So anyway, what do you think? Do you believe that Star Stable is working in the area? And what do you want the valley to look like in the future? Would you like to have a home stable there, maybe a championship, and something else? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Honestly, while talking about all of this, I got so much nostalgia of, the times when I first visited Dino Valley, and it was just so special. I really hope that when SSO does upgrade it, it brings back that feeling of, the specialty. The valley definitely has so much potential, and I really hope that SSO does a good job with it. Though I hope that when they do update it, they still keep it the same but just update it, because I've said this so many times now, but SSO doesn't really update most of the times. They revamp it, which means that they completely change it. I just really hope that the area, like the map and everything, is gonna stay the same but just have, the updated graphics. But yeah, this is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm gonna see you in my next one. Bye!